Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be looking at one of my games. I just played it like an hour ago, and I wasn't planning on sharing this, but it was such an interesting game, so I had to share it. And let's look at it together. As always, if you like the video, if you enjoy it, like it and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Helps the channel to grow. And yeah, that's enough talking, guys. Let's get right into it. So yeah, I open up with a Kings Indian opening, and it looks like a pretty standard game so far. I try to get the center, and yeah, everything looks normal up until this point, where my first blunder happens, where my opponent pins my queen with the rook with his bishop, and I was forced to sack my knight. So yeah, I give away a free knight. It looks like I'm losing the game, and then we exchange the bishops, and now I push the pawn, and here I feel like my opponent should have taken on h4 my knight, but he didn't, and instead he went for the pawn. So I took his pawn and I got my knight into a really good position now, and he went back, and I pushed and I attacked his knight. I'm forcing it to go back. I feel like he should have gone to e6, but this is okay, I guess. And here I make the first sacrifice. I sack my bishop, and he protected his pawn. So for people who don't see, he couldn't take my bishop with the pawn, because if he did, then instead of going for the pawn, I'm just gonna go and give him a check with the queen. And if he moves, it's gonna be a mate in one. If he doesn't, he has to sack a piece, either his knight or his bishop. So even if he sacks his knight and he comes with the bishop, I'm still getting all of the pawns. And from here I can even give him a check and win a rook. Or if not, if he tries to come here, if he goes here, instead of going here, he comes back, I can just come back always, and I can win this pawn on d6. So he's going to be losing a lot of pawns, and his king is opened up. So yeah, so that's why I feel like he didn't do it, and he instead protected his pawn with the bishop. And here what I should have done is I should have gone to g4 and threatened for a checkmate. So here's how it's going to looks. So what I do is, let's say he moves the rook, and I'm gonna do this. He's gonna do this, and that's a mate. If he didn't move his rook, if he did this, I'm getting a rook. So I would have won something, but instead I just brought my bishop back, and God knows why. And here he attacked my queen, so I went to g4 finally, and then he came up with the rook again, pinning my queen with the bishop. And here I gave him a check, and he moved to f8, because if he moved here, I'm just gonna give him a check and fork his queen, and I'm gonna win a queen eventually. So he couldn't go to h8. Instead he went to f8, and I gave him a check with my bishop. And yeah, here he went with the bishop, and defending with the bishop. And here I could have taken his rook, and I could have threatened to win the knight eventually, but then I brought my rook, and yeah, so that was something. And he had no other option. His only legal move was to go to e8. So once he went to e8, what I did was I just took his rook and threatening his knight, and his bishop he couldn't take my bishop because it was pinned. So yeah, from here he went knight f6, which was the only good move, I guess, because it attacks my queen, protects his knight, and his queen attacks my bishop. But I just simply took his bishop, and here my opponent resigned. So I'll tell you why he resigned. It's because the only legal move my opponent has is go back to f8. So if he goes to f8, I can mate him in two ways. One, I can just mate him like this with the rook. That's a mate. Two, I can just do this. So he has no other option but to bring his queen, and I can just mate him. That's it. So yeah, that's the game, guys. So hope you guys like it. I kept it as short as possible, and if you guys like it, you know, and comment down below what videos do you want next, and comment if you feel he could have done something different, or maybe I could have done something different. Comment down below. I'll make sure to read all of the comments, and as always, give me ideas on what to post next. If you want me to cover some grandmaster games, I can cover them. If you want to cover some of my games, I can cover them. If you want some openings like King's Indian, Queen's Gambit, Karo Khan, Benko's Gambit, I can make an opening lesson on all of them. So yeah, guys, that's all. So let me know what you want next, what video you guys want next, and I'll make sure to put up. And as always, stay safe. Have a nice day. Cheers. Bye bye.